Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Abraham Lincoln penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're going to dive into a truly iconic piece of American currency, the 1944 United States 1-cent coin. This humble penny, often overlooked by many, has an incredibly rich history, a striking design, and a story that's just waiting to be told. Stick with me, and you'll discover not only the intriguing history behind this little coin but also why it could be worth a staggering amount today. The 1944 1-cent coin, often called the wheat penny because of its reverse design featuring two wheat stalks, was minted during a pivotal time in American history. The United States was deeply involved in World War II, and the war was affecting nearly every aspect of life, including the production of coins. In fact, the year 1944 saw the country's economy and workforce shift dramatically due to the war effort. Copper, the primary metal used to mint these pennies, was in high demand for munitions, which led to a significant change in the composition of the coin. This penny, known for its historical significance, has an intriguing design that speaks volumes about America's past. On the obverse, or front, the coin features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, who has been featured on the penny since 1909. The image, sculpted by Victor David Brenner, captures Lincoln in a serene yet strong profile, symbolizing his leadership during one of the most challenging times in American history. This iconic image has become one of the most recognizable symbols of American currency. The reverse side of the 1944 penny is where things get particularly interesting. The design shows two stalks of wheat, symbolizing the country's agricultural roots and its dedication to hard work and prosperity. This wheat design was used on the penny from 1909 until 1958, and while it may seem simple at first glance, it carries with it a deep connection to the American heartland and the values of self-reliance and determination that defined the nation at the time. But what makes the 1944 penny particularly fascinating is the period in which it was minted. As I mentioned earlier, World War II was a major influence on coin production. Because copper was needed for the war effort, the U.S. Mint switched to using zinc-coated steel for pennies in 1943. However, in 1944, copper production for the war began to slow, and the minting process returned to the traditional copper composition. This shift made the 1944 penny a unique bridge between the wartime steel pennies and the classic copper coins that followed. Now, it's important to note that not all 1944 pennies are the same. The key factor that sets some of these pennies apart from others is the mint mark. You see, the U.S. Mint operates several facilities across the country, and each facility has its own unique mint mark that helps collectors identify where a coin was produced. The 1944 penny could have been minted in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. If you're lucky enough to find a 1944 penny with the D Mint mark from the Denver Mint or the S Mint mark from the San Francisco Mint, you may be holding a coin that's even more valuable than you think. Now, let's talk about why collectors are so drawn to the 1944 penny. For one, it's part of a series that spans several decades and carries with it a fascinating history. The wheat penny, in particular, is a fan favorite because of its connection to the past. But more than that, the 1944 penny is sought after because of its rarity. Although the U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies in 1944, finding one in exceptional condition is quite rare. Over time, these pennies have been worn down by circulation, meaning that most of the ones you'll encounter are well worn, with faded details and scratches, but for collectors, the real treasure is in the pristine specimens. If you happen to come across a 1944 penny that's in uncirculated or near mint condition, you're holding a coin that could fetch a significant price. Coins that have been carefully stored, preserved, and protected from the elements are far more valuable than their worn counterparts. And the rarer the coin, the higher the price. Mint errors, unique features, or even the rarest of the rare, a 1944 penny with a D or S mint mark in perfect condition, can make this coin a real goldmine for collectors. For those of you who are still wondering just how much a 1944 penny could be worth, it's time for the big reveal. A well-preserved 1944 1-cent coin, especially one with a rare mint mark or an uncirculated condition, could be worth as much as $68,000. That's right, this small, seemingly ordinary penny can hold a truly extraordinary value, making it one of the most desirable coins for collectors around the world. So, the next time you're going through your spare change or checking out old coin collections, keep an eye out for the 1944 penny. It might just be the key to unlocking a treasure trove of value. And if you're lucky enough to find one, you could be holding a coin worth a small fortune. As always, thank you for joining me on this coin collecting adventure. Top 2, we're going to dive deep into the story of a coin that's rich in history, design, and value, the 1949 United States 1-cent coin. Known for its distinctive look and historical significance, this penny might just be sitting in your collection, or even hidden in your loose change, waiting to be discovered. By the end of this video, you'll know everything there is to know about this remarkable piece of American currency, from its origins to its incredible value today. Let's step back to 1949. The United States, emerging from the trials of World War II, was transitioning into a time of economic recovery and growth. The country was enjoying peace, but challenges remained. It was a time of change, not only politically and socially but also in the realm of coinage. Coins from this era reflect the optimism of a nation rebuilding, but also the influences of the great conflict just behind it. The 1949 penny, minted in a period of post-war recovery, carries with it all the hope, struggles, and changes that America faced at the time. This particular coin is part of the larger wheat penny series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. The design of the coin has become iconic, with its unique reverse side featuring 2 stalks of wheat. The wheat penny is more than just currency, it's a symbol of America's agricultural roots, a time when farming and the land played a central role in the nation's identity. The wheat stalks on the back of the penny represent the country's dependence on farming and its respect for the hard work and perseverance of American farmers. On the obverse side of the 1949 penny, you'll find a familiar sight, the profile of Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln, one of the most revered figures in American history, has graced the front of the penny since 1909. The image of Lincoln on this coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, and it shows him in a dignified and thoughtful manner, paying homage to his leadership during the Civil War. The Lincoln design has become one of the most famous and enduring symbols of American history, with the 1949 coin being no exception. In fact, the depiction of Lincoln on this coin carries a sense of gravitas, especially when considering the political and economic climate of the time. The 1949 penny was minted in 3 primary locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. These mint marks are critical when assessing the coin's rarity and value. The majority of 1949 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, which means they are more commonly found. However, pennies minted in Denver and San Francisco are significantly rarer and more desirable among collectors. Coins from these mints often have lower mintage numbers, meaning fewer of them were made and are available today. One of the key factors that determines the value of a 1949 penny is its condition. Like most coins, pennies from this time period were heavily circulated, which means that finding one in excellent condition can be a challenge. The wear and tear of daily life would have caused the coin to lose some of its detail over time. Collectors seek out pennies that have been well preserved, as these coins hold much greater value than their worn counterparts. If you happen to come across a 1949 penny in mint or near mint condition, you may be in for a surprise. What makes the 1949 penny particularly fascinating to collectors is its connection to the post-war era. The U.S. was still in a time of transition, and coinage from this period can tell us a lot about the country's priorities and values at the time. While the wheat penny design had been in circulation for decades, it was nearing the end of its run. In just a few short years, the U.S. Mint would begin minting the Lincoln Memorial design, which would replace the wheat stalks on the reverse. As a result, the The 1949 penny marks one of the last years of the iconic Wheat Penny series, making it a particularly meaningful and collectible piece of American numismatic history. For many collectors, the appeal of the 1949 penny is not just in the coin itself but in the story it tells. The coin is a reminder of a time when the United States was rebuilding after a world war and laying the groundwork for the prosperous decades to come. It's a symbol of resilience, of the American spirit, and of the changes that defined the 20th century. However, it's not just historical significance that gives the 1949 penny its value, it's also its rarity. As mentioned earlier, the condition of the coin plays a significant role in determining its value. A 1949 penny that has been well preserved, free from scratches, discoloration, and wear, is a rare find. In fact, finding a 1949 penny in uncirculated condition can be quite a discovery, and such a coin can fetch a much higher price on the market. But that's not all. Some 1949 pennies have special features or minting errors that make them even more valuable. Minting errors can occur for a variety of reasons. Perhaps a coin was struck multiple times, or there was an issue with the die used to create the coin. These errors can create unique characteristics that make a coin even more collectible. For example, a 1949 penny with a doubled die or other minting flaws can be worth considerably more than a standard 1949 penny in good condition. Collectors are often willing to pay a premium for coins with these rare errors, making them highly desirable. Now, you're probably wondering, how much could a 1949 penny be worth? The value of a 1949 penny can vary significantly based on its condition and other factors like the mint mark and any potential errors. A well-preserved coin with a mint mark from San Francisco or Denver can be worth considerably more than one from Philadelphia. In uncirculated or near-mint condition, the value can be impressive. If you happen to have a 1949 penny in pristine condition, especially one with a rare mint mark or a special error, you could be looking at a coin worth as much as $64,000. Yes, you read that right. A 1949 penny, this tiny coin, which you may have casually overlooked, could be worth a staggering amount, thanks to its rarity, condition, and historical significance. So, the next time you go through your coin collection or check your pocket change, remember to keep an eye out for this valuable penny. It could be your ticket to a small fortune. Top 3, we're going to embark on a journey through time to discover the fascinating story behind the 1980 United States 1-cent coin. This seemingly ordinary penny has an extraordinary story to tell, one that spans decades of American history, economic change, and numismatic intrigue. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the rich history of this particular penny but also the incredible value it holds today. Let's begin with a bit of history. The year 1980 was a time of transition for the United States. It was the dawn of a new decade, and the country was in the midst of significant political and economic changes. Jimmy Carter was in office, and the nation was facing a turbulent period with rising inflation, an energy crisis, and growing concerns about the economy. The 1980s would soon be marked by significant changes, but for now, it was still a time of cautious optimism, as the nation slowly recovered from the challenges of the 1970s. For numismatists, however, 1980 is remembered for the continuing production of the 1-cent coin, better known as the penny. The 1980 penny was a part of the ongoing series of copper-plated zinc pennies that had replaced the earlier solid copper coins in 1982. However, in 1980, the U.S. Mint was still using the older copper composition for the penny, which gives the coin a distinct weight and feel compared to the pennies minted after the composition change. This minor detail, along with other factors, contributes to the coin's historical significance. The 1980 penny is also important because it was minted during a period of change in American coinage. The U.S. Mint was consistently producing large numbers of pennies each year to meet the demands of the growing economy. While the penny may seem like a small and insignificant piece of currency, it was crucial in helping to maintain the flow of commerce, especially for lower-priced items. It was in this context that the 1980 penny found its place in the broader story of U.S. currency. As we turn our attention to the design of the 1980 penny, we are greeted by an image that has become iconic in American numismatics. The obverse side of the coin features the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This image, which was designed by Victor David Brenner and first appeared on the penny in 1909, has been an enduring symbol of the nation's reverence for Lincoln and the values he represented. The portrait of Lincoln on the 1980 penny is as dignified and recognizable as ever. His face, set in profile, gazes solemnly toward the future, symbolizing the enduring legacy of his leadership during the Civil War. The inscription, "In God We Trust," is positioned above his head, while the words "Liberty" and "1980" are also displayed, marking the year of minting. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find the familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial, which has been used as the reverse design of the penny since 1959. The memorial is depicted in great detail, with the iconic columns and the statue of Lincoln seated inside. Above the memorial, you'll find the inscription "E pluribus unum," meaning, out of many, one, a motto that reflects the unity and diversity of the United States. The 1980 penny, like most pennies, was produced in large quantities, and the minting process didn't deviate much from the standard procedure. However, the coin's historical context makes it an interesting piece for collectors. While the penny was widely used in everyday transactions, the number of well-preserved examples from this era is relatively low. Over time, many of these pennies were circulated and worn down by daily use, which makes finding one in pristine condition a rare treat for collectors. In terms of minting details, the 1980 penny was produced at 3 different U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from each mint are distinguished by the mint mark on the reverse side. The P mint mark represents the Philadelphia mint, the D mint mark indicates the Denver mint, and the S mint mark shows that the coin was minted in San Francisco. For collectors, the mint mark is an important feature because it helps to identify where the coin was produced and can sometimes influence its rarity and value. The 1980 penny, like other coins of its era, was produced in large numbers, meaning that the mintages were high. As a result, the standard 1980 penny in worn condition is not particularly rare. However, coins in excellent condition, especially those that have been carefully preserved or even graded by professional numismatists, can be quite valuable. A penny that has been carefully stored and protected from wear and tear can fetch much higher prices than its well-circulated counterparts. What truly sets the 1980 penny apart for collectors is the rarity of certain varieties, especially those that exhibit unique features or minting errors. While these errors can be subtle, they can make a big difference in the coin's value. For example, a 1980 penny with a double die or other minting flaw can be worth significantly more than a regular coin. Minting errors, like off-center strikes or die cracks, can create one-of-a-kind pieces that are highly prized by collectors. These rare varieties can drive the price of the coin much higher than one might expect for an average penny. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value of the 1980 penny. If you're lucky enough to find a 1980 penny in excellent condition, it could be worth more than just its face value of 1 cent. A 1980 penny in near mint or uncirculated condition can be worth a few dollars, but if you happen to find one with a rare error or mint mark, the value can skyrocket. Coins with such features can fetch thousands of dollars at auction or in private sales. The biggest surprise comes when you discover that a 1980 penny with certain rare features can be worth as much as $54,000. Yes, you read that right. A single 1980 penny, if it meets the right criteria, whether it's in pristine condition, has a unique mint error, or comes from a rare minting location, could be worth a staggering amount. This makes the 1980 penny one of the most valuable coins of its era, and an exciting treasure for coin collectors and investors alike. So, the next time you come across a 1980 penny, take a closer look. It might just be the hidden gem that you've been waiting for. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer to the world of numismatics, this penny holds a special place in the history of American coinage, and its potential value could be a game-changer for your collection. Top 4, we're diving into an American coin with a fascinating backstory that may surprise you, the 1981 United States 1-cent coin. While this penny might look like just another piece of change in your pocket, it has a rich history and an intriguing place in the world of numismatics. By the time we reach the end of this video, you'll know why this particular coin is so important and just how much it could be worth. Let's set the stage for 1981, a year that marked a pivotal moment in U.S. history. The world was shifting in significant ways. The Cold War was still very much a part of global politics. Ronald Reagan had just been inaugurated as the 40th President of the United States, and the economy was undergoing a series of dramatic changes. Inflation was high, and the country was experiencing a difficult economic period known as stagflation, which was characterized by rising prices and high unemployment. Yet, as challenging as the times were, it was also a year of economic adjustment and resilience. People across the nation were adapting to these challenges, and the 1981 penny, the coin we're focusing on today, was a part of that larger economic story. It was in circulation during a time of financial uncertainty, but the penny, as always, remained a vital part of everyday transactions. This penny was being minted during the final years of the familiar wheat cent design's long legacy, and it served as a bridge between the classic designs of the past and the new direction the U.S. Mint would take in the coming decades. The 1981 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, a series that had been in production since 1959. This series replaced the older wheat penny design and was meant to honor President Abraham Lincoln's legacy while also symbolizing the nation's unity, as reflected in the Lincoln Memorial. The design features Lincoln's likeness on the obverse, and the reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial in all its glory. This design, created by Frank Gasparo, has become one of the most iconic and enduring in U.S. numismatic history. On the front, the 1981 penny continues to showcase the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln, standing as a tribute to one of the most important figures in American history. The image of Lincoln on the penny is dignified, his expression solemn and resolute, a reflection of his leadership during the most tumultuous period in U.S. history, the Civil War. The words, "In God We Trust," are inscribed at the top of the coin, reminding the nation of its religious heritage, while "Liberty" and 1981 mark the year of minting. These features give the 1981 penny a sense of historical continuity with the past, even though it was minted during a time of change. On the reverse side, the 1981 penny depicts the Lincoln Memorial, the grand structure in Washington, D.C., that honors Lincoln's legacy. This iconic memorial is depicted in stunning detail, with its columns and the statue of Lincoln sitting solemnly inside. The inscription, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one, is displayed, symbolizing the unity of the United States. This design was a nod to the importance of Lincoln in American history and the symbolic role the memorial played in commemorating his legacy. While the 1981 penny may seem like a standard coin at first glance, its design, history, and place in U.S. numismatic history give it a special significance. But what truly makes the 1981 penny unique is the context of its production. Like other pennies of the era, the 1981 penny was minted in large quantities, meaning it was used extensively in everyday commerce. It became a fixture of daily life, a small yet essential part of American currency. The minting process of the 1981 penny, like many of the pennies produced in the years before, involved creating a coin with the familiar copper-plated zinc composition that became a standard for pennies after 1982. This composition gives the penny its characteristic weight and appearance. At the time of its production, the U.S. Mint was focusing on ensuring a steady supply of pennies, as they were needed in large numbers for transactions across the country. The high volume of pennies produced each year meant that there were a lot of them in circulation. However, as time passed, many of these coins, including the 1981 penny, began to show signs of wear and tear. Pennies, by nature, are coins that are frequently used, and as a result, many of them became worn down through daily handling. Finding a 1981 penny in excellent or near mint condition can be a rarity, which is why collectors often seek out coins that have been well preserved. The better the condition of the coin, the more valuable it can be. As with any coin, the minting location also plays a role in its rarity and appeal. In 1981, pennies were minted at 3 different U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The mint mark located on the reverse side of the coin indicates where it was produced. A coin minted in Philadelphia will have no mint mark, while a coin minted in Denver will feature the letter D, and a coin minted in San Francisco will have the letter S. While the majority of 1981 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, coins from Denver and San Francisco are less common and may carry a higher value for collectors. The true rarity of the 1981 penny lies not only in its condition but also in the presence of special features or minting errors. Minting errors occur when there's a flaw in the coin's creation, such as an improperly aligned die, double strikes, or off-center strikes. These errors can make a coin significantly more valuable, as they are often unique and can't be replicated. The 1981 penny is no exception. If you find one with a minting error, it could be worth much more than a typical penny. Collectors are particularly drawn to coins with these kinds of errors because they are considered varieties, and rare varieties can drive up the price of a coin dramatically. These coins often attract attention from serious collectors who are willing to pay a premium for such a unique and rare find. Additionally, coins that have been carefully preserved and graded by professional numismatists tend to command higher prices, further increasing the potential value of the coin. So, what's the final verdict? How much could a 1981 penny be worth? While a typical, well-worn 1981 penny might only be worth a few cents, the value of a coin in pristine or near-mint condition can be much higher. But if you happen to find a 1981 penny with a rare mint error or an interesting variety, you could be looking at something truly remarkable. In fact, a 1981 penny in exceptional condition or with a rare feature could be worth as much as $50,000. That's right, this humble penny, which you might have once overlooked, could now be worth a small fortune. The next time you come across a 1981 penny in your collection or in your change, take a moment to inspect it closely. It could very well be a hidden treasure, waiting to be discovered. Top 5 and last rare coin, we're going to explore the 1978 United States 1-cent coin, a seemingly modest penny with a fascinating history and a value that might surprise you. By the end of this video, you'll have a deep understanding of what makes this coin so special, from its historical context to its design, minting details, and the impressive value it can carry in today's numismatic market. So let's dive right in. First, let's take a look at the year 1978, which was a pivotal moment in both American history and coinage. The late 1970s was a time of economic struggle for the United States. The country was grappling with the effects of high inflation, the oil crisis, and economic stagnation. President Jimmy Carter was in office, dealing with a variety of challenges, from the energy crisis to rising unemployment. These were turbulent times, but the American economy and its people were resilient, trying to adjust to these economic pressures. For the U.S. Mint, 1978 marked a continuation of the familiar Lincoln Memorial series of pennies, which had been in circulation since 1959. Despite the challenging economic conditions, the 1978 penny remained an essential part of everyday life, symbolizing the nation's reliance on smaller denominations for day-to-day transactions. This was the year when the United States was shifting further into the age of modern coinage, though the classic designs remained in place, including the ever-popular Lincoln Memorial reverse design. The U.S. Mint was producing pennies in massive quantities at the time to meet the public's demand for coins. This wasn't just a matter of making enough pennies for people to buy goods at the store, it was about maintaining the currency flow for a country that relied heavily on small denominations for a variety of everyday transactions. At the same time, this was the last decade that saw the Lincoln Memorial penny minted in its traditional copper composition. Starting in 1982, the U.S. Mint would transition to a copper-plated zinc penny, so the 1978 penny is part of a short-lived yet important period in American coinage. Let's talk about the design of the 1978 penny. It's a piece of American history that carries with it significant symbolism, thanks to the design of the coin and the iconic figures it features. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find the well-known image of President Abraham Lincoln, facing left in a dignified profile. The portrait of Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, has been in use on the penny since 1909, and it remains one of the most enduring and beloved images in American numismatics. Lincoln's likeness represents leadership, strength, and the nation's perseverance, especially during the Civil War. The coin's reverse side features the Lincoln Memorial, the grand monument that honors Lincoln's legacy. The image of the memorial is intricate and detailed, with the colonnades framing the statue of the president seated inside. Above the memorial, you'll see the inscription E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one. This phrase represents the unity of the United States, a fitting sentiment for the coin that honors one of the country's most revered presidents. The words United States of America appear around the top, with 1 cent below the memorial. This design continued to be used until 2009 when a new design was introduced to commemorate Lincoln's bicentennial. As we look at the details of the 1978 penny's minting process, we see that it was produced at several U.S. mint facilities. Like many coins of the era, the 1978 penny was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Each mint has its unique mark on the coin, signifying where it was produced. The D mint mark is found on coins minted in Denver, the S mark on coins minted in San Francisco, and the absence of a mint mark signifies a coin from Philadelphia. For collectors, this is an important detail, as coins from certain mints tend to be rarer than others, especially for specific years. Despite the mass production of pennies in 1978, many of these coins were circulated in daily transactions. Over the years, most of the pennies from this period have shown signs of wear and tear. The copper composition of the coin also means that it tends to tarnish and develop a patina over time, making well-preserved examples increasingly rare. This is what makes a 1978 penny in excellent condition so highly sought after by collectors. A coin that has been well maintained, stored carefully, and remains free from heavy circulation marks can fetch a much higher price than a typical worn penny from the same year. Now, let's talk about the appeal of the 1978 penny in the numismatic world. While these coins are not as rare as some other vintage pennies, there is a growing interest in them due to their historical context and relative scarcity in pristine condition. Coin collectors and investors are always on the lookout for coins that have survived the years in exceptional shape, and the 1978 penny is no exception. This is particularly true for pennies that have been professionally graded and preserved by organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. In addition to their condition, certain varieties of the 1978 penny can be worth more than others. For example, some 1978 pennies may exhibit minor minting errors or unique features, such as double dies or off-center strikes. These errors are relatively rare and can make a coin significantly more valuable. Collectors have a keen eye for these imperfections, and a penny with a rare minting flaw can command a much higher price in the marketplace, but the true value of a 1978 penny is often tied to its condition and any unique features it might possess. While most 1978 pennies are worth only a few cents, those that are in uncirculated condition or possess a rare minting error can be worth significantly more. In fact, some rare examples of the 1978 penny have been known to sell for as much as $57,000. That's right, this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth a small fortune, depending on its condition and any rare characteristics it might have. This makes the 1978 penny one of the most fascinating and valuable coins from the late 20th century, and a coin that any serious collector would love to add to their collection. So, the next time you come across a 1978 penny, take a moment to inspect it carefully. It could be the hidden treasure you've been looking for. If you're lucky enough to have one in excellent condition, or if you happen to find one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a valuable piece of American numismatic history. Thank you for joining me today as we explored the 1978 United States 1-cent coin. I hope this video has given you a new appreciation for this fascinating penny and the history it represents. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. Happy collecting, and I'll see you next time.